everyone, this is Margarita with CityGal Papeterie. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. I want to show you how you can create a little traveler's notebook bundle like I created here, using one scrapbook kit along with a few other pages. So you can see here I have a little folio that goes around my two traveler's notebooks. It's got a nice little pocket where you can put stuff in, and I also reinforced the spine where the elastic is going to go through. And then here I have two notebooks that I created using one scrapbook kit. I did add pages from my stash to be able to have enough to fill the entire book, and I'll add some details as far as measurements and number of pages and things like that in the description below. But these are the two traveler's notebooks that I was able to make with this one kit and a few of my own pages from my stash. Beside the two traveler's notebooks and the little folio, here's the elastic, just so you can take a quick look at that. It keeps the two notebooks together, and then the other elastic goes through the hole in the spine of the folio, and then that keeps them inside of the folio as well once you wrap the elastic around. And then keeps all your little things all together. You can probably tuck some other notes and papers and such in there too. And there's the little bundle. So beside that, I also made this little flip book with some of the papers that were left over. And I also made this little folio book, and I used an elastic to keep it closed. I made a little pocket and some tags. I used a tag die to cut these out. And then in here are some more pieces of writing paper and these project cards that came with the kit. Those are in the back. I created a little pocket to keep them in. So that also comes with the kit, with the bundle rather. And I also added a little charm. And then I made this little envelope box, and inside of it is another booklet. I have an enclosure here made of a hook and loop. And then, yeah, this is the last little booklet that's part of the bundle. And this is perfect for using as an album itself. I didn't bind it permanently, so you can take pages out or you can add pages to it. And then again, I'll include some measurements and stuff below. So I'm gonna create a new bundle using this Cartabella kit called Dinosaur Collection. And I'm gonna try and replicate the same thing. I'm gonna make two traveler's notebooks, and with whatever is left over, I'm going to create another few items to go with it so that it coordinates and it can be used in different ways. So these are all of the papers that come in the kit. They are all patterned paper. They are all double-sided. So I do add in some of my own papers because I don't want to only use these. I want to also include some photo papers. Well, not photo papers, but I have this book that's has photographs of the Amazon, and I wanted to use some of those beautiful photographs in the notebooks. And I also add some solid colors and some writing paper. And so this is from that photograph book. It's like a, I don't know, it's just a book with photographs from the rainforest. And so these are the ones that I pull in from my stash. And then I add here some solids and some other pieces of paper from my stash. And I was just sure to pick papers that I knew were going to coordinate nicely with the pattern papers from the kit. I also definitely wanted to include some writing paper, and I have that one graph sheet. I'm going to cut my papers down. This is a standard sized traveler's notebook. I will be putting the measurements up on the screen. I'm going to go ahead and cut all of my papers down. A standard size traveler's notebook usually has about 30 pages, and that's including the front and back. So it would be 15 sheets of paper. And then you want to be careful when you cut your papers down that you are cutting them properly to the coordination of your image. So, you know, you want to make sure that whatever your image is going to be, that you keep it in the right direction. I don't even know if that makes sense right now, but I'm really tired. But I want to get this video out to you guys. For this one, I made a little folder out of it. I added some pockets by sewing the piece that I cut off. I sewed it to one of the sides, and that made a little pocket page. So see here, I have to cut this paper down and make sure that my trees are going to remain in their vertical state so that it's not the wrong direction when I put them in the book. This also came with this really cute like comic style or like graphic style cutouts. I'm cutting them all out because I'm going to use them later on to create a mini album that will be part of the bundle. I really like this kit, maybe because I have boys, but it's really, really cute. And I don't think that it's like needs to be specific to males. I think anyone can enjoy a bundle like this. So now I've cut all of my papers, I've folded all of them in half, and I've decided where their places are going to be. And then this is everything that's left once all of my papers are cut. And these are the cutouts that I'm going to be using for that mini album. So we're going to now even out our pages and then bind our booklets. So this is just a quick flip through of how I laid out all of the pages. I added a few like flip out pages. There's this nice fold out in the center. And there's, of course, writing paper and the photo papers, the little pocket papers. And so it's always good to even out the side of your notebook so that your pages are nicely lined up to your cover. I don't do it for that one because I have the pocket pages and they're sewn, so I can't really cut the sides of the pages without ruining the pockets. But I am going to even out this one. And here's a quick flip through of what these pages look like. The order is, I made sure to add some pocket pages in here as well. And some craft paper because that's always fun. So I don't know if I film the process of evening out the pages to the side of the cover, but that is an option that you have. Here I am just preparing myself to bind the back, so I'm gonna do 3 times the height of the book. That's how much thread I'm gonna be using. This is wax thread. Once I have that piece cut, I'm just gonna cut another one because I have 2 books to bind. I have a paper awl, and that I'm gonna use that to poke the holes in the spine of my book. I also have this large binding needle. and I'm just threading it so that I'm ready to go. And then once I have all of that together, I'm going to clip my pages in place so that they're not moving around as I'm binding the book. Making sure that all of the pages are nicely lined up and as far back as they go against the spine. And I'm going to clip all of the sides in place. And then you can use a ruler. I measure my center by just putting my fingers at the end and then bringing them together towards the middle. And where they stop, I just poke a hole. That's just my way of eyeballing it. If you want it to be exact, you can measure it, or you can use a template. There are definitely lots of videos out there that can show you exactly how to do that. But this is kind of an overall video of just, how you can create a bundle with a kit. So I'm not really going to get into details on how to bind, but basically you're going to poke 3 holes in the spine, 1 in the middle, and then 1 at either end. And then you're going to grab your thread and your needle, and you want to start to sew your binding. You start on the inside. Some people do start on the outside, so that is preferential. I leave a nice long tail on the middle, in the middle of the book, and I'm going to use that later on to tie my thread together. I'm moving down to the bottom hole. I'm putting my needle back in from the outside to the inside of the book, and then I'm going to go to the other end and put my needle from the inside of the book to the outside, and then back in through the middle from the outside to the inside spine. I like to make sure that I have one of the tails on one side of the middle thread and one of the tails on the other side. And then once I pull those together nice and tight, I tie them together. So sometimes I end up putting the needle through one of the threads without realizing, and that's what happened here. So I'm just gonna pull that string out from the center of the other string. It happens sometimes, but no harm. Can just fix it. And now I'm just pulling it nice and tight, making sure that it's not loose on the outside or the inside. And I like to do 3 knots here, or three ties, just to make sure that it's gonna stay in place. And then I cut my ends so they're not so long. You can also keep them long. You can hang things like beads and stuff from the ends if you have them long enough, or you can make a bow or whatever you'd like to do. You can cut it even shorter if you'd like. But that's one of the notebooks just completely bound now and ready to use. I'm going to repeat that process with the other traveler's notebook as well. And as the last detail, I grab some of this sandpaper and I sand the edges of my notebooks. I like the feel of a nice worn-in book. I like it, I don't know, when you hold the book and it feels nice and soft on the edges. I just like that feeling. So I do create that with these booklets. I'm sanding down the corners, I'm sanding down the sides of the pages, all the way around the entire notebook. It gives it a really nice worn-in look, as well as a nice soft worn-in feel. I'm bending the book slightly so I can get all of the sides of the pages. And as you saw there, this is a 220 grit paper, sandpaper. A little goes a long way with these. of course, I'm going to repeat that with the other booklet. Now I'm going to create some other things, some other items using what I have left of this kit and the pages that I added. With these strips, I'm going to make a little mini notebook. And I bind the center of this notebook using a staple. This is my extended stapler here. I love this thing. It comes in handy. And once that's in place, I even out my pages, make sure that they're nice and flush to the cover. I'm going to embellish the front with a sticker. And then that little booklet stays closed with a binder clip. Now with some of these thicker strips, I'm going to just make a little flip book. So once they're all together, I grab my crocodile, punch a hole at the top. And then I'm going to bind it all together with an eyelet. I chose this really nice metallic bronzed eyelet. And that's going to keep all my papers together. Now I'm going to embellish the front. I'm just backing one of the label stickers to a pattern paper and then cutting it down to size. I round the corners and then I adhere that to the front of my booklet. And I'm just using double-sided tape for this. As a final touch, I add some twine at the top. And that's the bundle. I also created this mini album. Well, here's the front of one of the traveler's notebooks. I did embellish the front. Here's the other one. All completed. There's the mini notebook. If anyone is interested in purchasing this bundle, it is available in my Etsy shop. I'll leave the link below. And this is the final piece that I created using those cutouts. I made a mini album with some little flip pages and some pockets, some belts for tucking things in, some more embellished pages, and spaces for writing, of course. I hope you enjoyed that. I hope it gave you some ideas. I will see you guys next time. Look at all the details in the description box if you are interested.